waisa mafrasi asingaperi kuguru kwenda for free kwete kuti tipedze tichimbovhiringa vanhu vangopinda madrugs vamwe vanenge vachimbotaurwa kuti mangwana chacha iwewe ndiri kukupa mota
dzokoroi mukana dzokoroi mukana mangwana motikari zigananda.
This is quite exciting and to hear, honestly, that at least now, finally, Chiwenga is calling out Wikino Shivayo. But the question we need to ask ourselves is, who sends Wikino Shivayo? It's definitely Emmerson Mnangagwa. Do you recall Emmerson Mnangagwa calling him a philanthropist? I also remember there was a time that Kudata Gwire came out and said, you don't need to question where Wikino Shivayo is getting his money. And this is a man who's been called an elder in the church. The people in the 7th day, they don't even know how this guy is so deceptive. But we all can see that it's a criminal gangs that has been running Zimbabwe for decades. These guys took over Zimbabwe during the Mugabe time. If you guys listened to the interview of Gideon Gono, he made it clear that nothing will work until the police clamp down on these criminal syndicates. But unfortunately, the one that is in the office is the one that is the owner of the gangs. Because, you know, the gangs are protect me so I can control the territory. You see, what's interesting now when I'm looking at the Zimbabwean situation, is the South African situation, is that in South Africa, we still have police. We have the spine to stand firm, to defend and protect their nation. Okay, that's why Mukwana is a hero. We don't have that in Zimbabwe. We had Chiwuri, who failed dismally. Then you came Matanga, worse. And then now we have Mutamba, is worse than the devil, Lucifer himself. Because these guys are simply there to protect gangs, not to protect the country. Unfortunately, they get appointed by the so-called president. That's why it's difficult for most of these institutions to function. I was listening to an interview this about 2 days ago where a crime executive in South Africa said, the worst that can ever happen to a country is when 3 arms of the government are captured by criminal gangs. And he was referring to the police, the military, and the judiciary. And I think we all know when GEZA came out that he made it very clear that some of the military guys, especially the military guy that is actually the leader, I think, for the presidential guard, was captured by Emmerson Mnangagwa. He's Mnangagwa's boy. That's why he had the nerve and the guts to deploy military to guard Kudata Gwire. Absolutely shocking. They would prefer to protect gangs and then call out patriotic citizens, say, no, Asingari Ngabude mu Zimbabwe. And actually, shocked today, I saw Zimbabweans complaining online. Take a listen.
Every day, whenever mawandira vakaita naim every day, pane mazana akawanda kunodes apari kwachelse employer navega munyika medu. Kuyozotora mari vachienda asi kwa vanotidzinga. Apa makunotora hama dzake dzira dzeshe.
Machaira achikhanya mugwagwako. Asi imi mchipuwa zvimadhiri in the back offices. Mchipuwa zvimakati na Chinese. I was in Shurugwi the other day. I'm going to do a documentary on that.
Yeah.
The whole of Boteregwa is finished.
It's
finished. The Chinese have finished that whole mountain.
Boteregwa.
Napega apachina.
Yeah.
I see road nova pa Shurugwi paya. Makomba oga.
Yeah.
But the Chinese are milking gold, chrome, and platinum. Not even fixing the road where they are carrying the very minerals with. And our Minister of Mines, Mr. Chitando, is sitting in his office putting on a bow tie, speaking lots of English. And we must be watching as Africans, particularly Zimbabweans. And we call it, oh, you're not patriotic. I am one of the most patriotic in this country. And I think I've earned my stripes. I can call him to order. And I have my own problem, my own farm. And they put Chitando's name inside. Shumba, the guy was given the contract. He's on my farm right now. For the past 17 years, they've been vandalizing our farm. You raise these things, you're not being patriotic. I think we need to separate patriotism from corruptions and some of the evil habits, which some of the ministers and government officials have accumulated a habit of thuggery.
This is quite sad. It's sad Zimbabweans are complaining why Chinese are flooding into this country. Guys, let us not be hypocrites, because Zimbabweans will be the last people to blame Chinese for coming to Zimbabwe, because we are all in different countries, Zimbabweans, because we're in search of greener pastures. Show me a businessman who cannot capitalize on the opportunity. Show me. Absolutely none. Okay? Let them do what they have to do. It's not their fault. What we need to focus on is to remove a man who's masquerading as a president in the office. Emmerson Mnangagwa. He has failed. And I'm glad that this whole SADC thing is gone now. What else are we waiting for? Why is he stuck in that office? Because the guy has ruined the country. So to just give you Mnangagwa's resume, because I know some of you may think, it's not me. I mean, Hopo Chiwenga has been reporting this many times and telling you, Mnangagwa is not presidential material. Mnangagwa is not in the office for the people. He's in the office just to protect himself, because he knows he's committed so many crimes. So the gangs that you see are there to protect the gangsters. It's clear. There's no doubt about that. I've told you that the only advantage in South Africa is that they open their eyes earlier, and they've got police who have the spine to confront nonsense, like what Mukwananzi did. But South Africa, if they do not stop this nonsense, they are on their way to Zimbabwe. Once the gangs takes over the state, it's over for the country, because everyone will be living in fear. Look how many people have been dying over the years. Political violence, it's political killings in South Africa. There's no violence, but political killings. In Zimbabwe, you'll be calling it political. It's not in Zimbabwe, I can guarantee you, the problem that we have Zimbabweans is we think that we can resolve our issues with politics. You cannot take out criminal syndicates with politics. You take out criminal syndicates with confrontation. Okay. Well, this is what should have happened during the GNU. I don't know, for some reason, brothers and sisters were focusing on their lifestyle. I mean, Mutambari is out here. He said it. We made a mistake by not speaking about political reforms. Before you talk about reforms, talk about climbing down on criminal syndicates that were taking the piece. Mnangagwa was there in the same administration, and he was busy still protecting these gangs. People were still being killed. I mean, you guys have grown up hearing that people are being thrown in acids, etc. I remember when we were young, we didn't know what do they mean. You could just hear that in Zimbabwe, even though we were young.
That guy is very cruel. Very, very cruel. Akazotofoswa kuresigna na PV achinzi wadarika makore ako ekuramba uchingurinyu wachembera achibva achiramba achiti handidi kuenda ngwehondo mukatomugugula mumuona iye munana very cruel murume vakamupanikire kuti gere anofamba achikaminira so dare saka ndo makaiswa itaidza mara imomo right. Ndakazviziva sei inini. I was a student there 2015 tokozi yanga 2016 January takatraina ikoko. Saka pakati pekutraina munotraina zvinhu zviri life kwete zvokufungidzira. SASI ndio inotraina counter terrorism. Kuti uzo counter terrorism hunge iwewe watombotraina terrorism yacho. Saka noisasa atori materrorist. Hakuna vanhu vakawanda ikoko because training yacho inorwadza. Choro kabvunza anyone kana mune hama musoja mukabvunza kuti naiwe inonzi SASI muarmy unit asi anoziva kuti maiwe wanoiwa wasi right. Ndo mabhinya enyika. Saka vanotraina counter terrorism, vanotraina VIP protection, vanotraina accident, car hijacking, aircraft hijacking, any modes of transport hijacking, kidnapping. Munotozvitraina izvozvo kana matotraina munoita malife operation. Munotoita maexercise amunopiwa ekutesta kuti mabata here zvitori live. Kana muita kidnapping munotoenda kunokidnapa vanhu votoya mukamba.
Alright guys, I know some of you is the first time to pass through this channel. You're welcome. Okay, so please make sure that you subscribe and don't forget to ring the bell so at least every time I drop a video you'll be notified. I want to say to my regulars, my lovers, don't forget to thumbs up the video because that helps a lot. We need to push algorithm and invite everyone to the conversation. This time around, we're not playing games, we mean business. The Zimbabwe that we want is on the horizon and it's coming, and we'll make sure that we rebuild the walls. I love you guys. Stick around and keep watching.
Pane panyogwa inonzi exercise distraction inonyogwesana na president wakomana SASI vachaita exercise yekidnapping. So dari kana vakanokidnapa vanhu ka vozoga mukakidnapa kwa munhu ka mucharipota kupolisi. But vanouya pavanozobudiswa mani kunzi ayo vakomana vanga vari pasele vanga vari paexercise havachasungwi. kana mukati muri kuita car hijacking munotoita car hijacking iri riu chaiyo zvinozobva zadzosekwa kana mapedza exercise but dzinozosekwa manje dzine exercise session kuti vanhu vaone zvokwadi mamuchitraina kana ndo pandakaziva ni kuti mastreet kids muharare umu panotogwa mastreet kids mutauni muya anongosvika so mastreet kids otogwa oisa mumota kunzi handei kune chibasa kati mononzva chikafu woita nge vanhu vaya vanopata vanhu chikafu vaya otogwa mastreet kids oendwa nawo kukaribhako munonodzidzira munonotraina mushandisa mastreet kids kana lese muri kuita malessense ekudzidzira kuuraya munhu handiti there are methods akasiyana ekuuraya munhu kana uchibaya injection uisa poison kana uchiponda kana uchirwa nepfuti whatever zvaunenge uchiita saka munhu anotoya live so vanotogwa masikidzi otonzi right fambai makadai ivi vakomana vakagarira uchisvika paya konzi uyo munhu iwe uraya nepfuti toni.
This has taken so long, and it's time for us to confront our issues as they are. Not because we need a leader, guys. When are we going to understand that a political player is someone who's seeking for a job, and that person does not own a country? The citizens are more powerful than an employee. A person who comes in the office as a president is not the country, is an employee. Ian Smith was said, never in a million years. Where is he today? Mugabe, I'll rule from the grave. Where is he today? Mnangagwa thinks he's the godfather of... He's not. He's going to leave soon. I'm literally saying, guys, let's change our politics. Let's put the country first. Right now, our conversation should be, how can we take down this criminal empire? This gang, this gangster and his gangs. They need to go because this country will never work. Zimbabwe will never function as long as we are not telling truth to power and we keep on playing all these games under the guise of politics. Brothers and sisters, we need to fix our country. Otherwise, we are just wasting our time. And I don't know what to say. We are wasting our time. So GEZA is out here saying, guys, let's take all these criminals because nothing is going to work. You guys have noted that everyone who gets employed in the government always owe allegiance to Mnangagwa, not to the citizens, to Mnangagwa. That's how gangs operate. He owes allegiance to the one they protect. I don't know what to say to people. Guys, honestly, we are the most educated country. We should never be dumb to this extent. You see, yeah, they owe allegiance. All of them, they owe allegiance to their godfather. And honestly, with all due respect, this cannot carry on. Zimbabwe is the most richest country, yet we are here poor, fighting. Now we are fighting that white Chinese are coming in to take over the territory. Why not? They're working with the gangster. They're working with the gangs. Chinese people own guns in our country. And Zimbabweans are not allowed their own guns. You saw them shooting at citizens. Some of them are shooting around my band. You saw it, guys. I don't even know what you... This shows how much we failed. And honestly, any patriotic Zimbabwean who's genuine should stand up and put a stop to what's going on in our country. Honestly. Okay, moving on. Guys, you know that the military is out here honestly supporting GEZA. I don't know if you guys were paying attention to what happened this past week. The military supported GEZA. The song Yema Soldier was there. And when they spoke about the issue of the president, they were actually zeroing the camera on Chiwenga, not on Mnangagwa. Of course, I'm not really much worried about who gets in the office for me. I'm more worried about, can we please stop allowing Mambava or gangsters to run this country? Guys, what are we really trying to achieve? That's the question I have. What are we trying to do? Because the country is falling apart. Zimbabwe is a shame. Recently, they told you that they were going to take away Dirty, and they're taking millions every month. But the filthiness that is in Harare, shocking. Forget about Harare. What about other towns? I also don't like the fact that this government seems to be a Harare government, not a Zimbabwean government. We grew up, didn't even have a clue who was actually the minister of whatever. That's how nonsense is going on in this country. This country is being led by, I don't know, honestly, Zimbabweans, I don't even know what to say. I think we've spoken about this many times. I keep on reminding you so that we all know what's going on currently is not who we are, and we don't actually subscribe to that crap that we are seeing every day. Like I said, I'm glad good now we are speaking with one voice. So people are not only talking, want to hear the talks, they are saying we want action now, not tomorrow. I mean, the military of Zimbabwe cannot be afraid of removing gangs. So if they can be afraid of removing gangs or to be afraid of gangs, how are they going to take down terrorists? Guys, make it make sense. It means we are all not safe. My prayer for this country is one day we wake up with top class leadership. I'm saying top class. Where we wake up in understanding that, guys, we have a legacy to protect as a people. Right? We have a legacy to protect. So as we can see now, because I can tell you, you have never heard the military writing a statement that they do denounce GEZA. No, never. But the police wrote a statement immediately after that police guy who came out, the inspector, who spoke, and some people don't know he was crazy. He wasn't. Okay, so from what I heard, it's very strategic. So relax, guys. It's all under control. These gangs, they're about to see fire coming. A fire that is coming. In fact, some of them, honestly, I can tell you, life in prison. Life in prison. So to the slave queens, you get married very early because it's coming to an end soon. Okay, I repeat, it's coming to an end soon. Your criminal boyfriends are on their way to prison and they'll never hide. We'll get them, Interpol will get them and bring them back to Zimbabwe to pay for their sins. Because we can never allow anyone, dead or alive, to destroy our nation. So guys, just tell me what you think from what Chiwenga said. And for those that are complaining about Chinese, don't worry about Chinese people. What about the person that is the president in the office? Is the one that should be answerable to you. If he has to protect gangs, we don't have time to entertain gangsters, honestly. We have no time. We want leaders. We want a leader. Okay, when I'm saying I'm talking about proper, genuine, authentic leaders who are there to serve the people. What am I games? These are games. It's not taking anywhere. All right, guys, I love you. See you later on. Bye for now.